Apple just quietly shattered your hopes and dreams of upgrading this year. If you check the Apple Store right now, a base model MacBook Pro with a new M5 chip is sitting at a ridiculous $2,000. And if you spec it up with enough RAM to actually do your job, you are looking at over $3,000. I paid $2,500 for a similar spec just a couple of months ago, and now they want $3,100? I will be cooked. Honestly, I'll believe it when I see the sales numbers, but right now, Cupertino has entirely lost the plot with this Apple tax. So due to these unfortunate circumstances, you and I are left staring at one very compelling, fanless alternative, the M5 MacBook Air. But the big question keeping me up at night is whether I actually need the Pro. Maybe I don't need the fans, the extra ports, or the massive footprint. Maybe the Air can completely replace my $3,000 Pro. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments if you would ever downgrade to an Air just to save a massive chunk of cash. Before we get into the heavy thermal throttling tests, let's talk about why we are even in this mess. Mark Gurman recently pointed out that the aggressive pricing strategy is tied directly to the skyrocketing costs of TSMC 3nm yields. They simply aren't getting the volume they expected, so the cost gets passed right on to us. The ELEC recently corroborated this, noting that Apple's supply chain is feeling the intense squeeze on these next-generation silicon wafers. But picking up the Air, the very first thing hitting you is the weight. It feels exactly like an iPad. Honestly, it is barely heavier than an iPad Pro slapped into a Magic Keyboard. The footprint is shockingly thin. Mac Otakara had reports a while back about Apple shaving exactly 0.2 inches off the chassis, and honestly, that 0.2 inches makes a massive difference. You want to use it everywhere. On the couch, carrying it with one hand, tossing in your bag, or taking it to bed. Ross Young also mentioned that the display panels Apple is sourcing for the Air are tuned for extreme efficiency. And he wasn't kidding. While I was browsing Chrome in bed, this thing was sipping exactly 2 watts. 2 watts. My desk lamp uses more power. The Pro model idles around 3 watts, but the moment you start spazzing the mouse or scrolling through YouTube, it spikes to 15 watts because that 120Hz promotion display just wants to suck down power because it can. The Air barely hits 6 watts under the exact same load. But then you fire up a video, and reality hits you right in the face. The speakers sound like absolute garbage compared to the Pro. Okay, maybe not garbage, but the difference in bass is night and day. Shrimp Apple Pro leaked some schematics a while back showing how the ultra-thin chassis forces a completely different acoustic chamber design, and you can absolutely hear the compromise. The low end is completely gone. I actually prefer using my phone for audio in bed because somehow it sounds richer. How can a phone beat a premium laptop? DG Times actually reported on Apple's struggle with miniaturizing the audio drivers, and the Air is the prime victim here. And speaking of victims, let's talk about the port situation. You get 2 ports, both on the left side, which is infuriating if you need to charge from the right. And they are Thunderbolt 4, not the blazing fast Thunderbolt 5 you get on the Pro. Is that a deal breaker? Well, when I connected my Thunderbolt 5 dock, my main 4K monitor ran beautifully at 165 Hz. But my second monitor worked exactly once, and then just gave up. It is probably confused running through 2 hubs, but still, seamless integration is clearly a myth here. And Apple stripped the SD card slot to make it thinner, which means you're living that dongle life if you edit on the go. Now, I know you're not supposed to game on Mac, but recently in the UK, we had a massive heat wave. My room felt like an air fryer. So naturally, I decided it was the perfect time to fire up Red Dead Redemption 2 using Crossover. On the Pro, the fans ramp up to 100% and it handles the heat beautifully. For the Air, the moment it started validating the game files, the internal temperature shot up to 90 degrees. It was preheating itself before I even loaded the map. Once in-game, I was barely scraping 15 frames per second. Dropping the resolution to 720p only got me to 25. I figure a native game like Cyberpunk would fare better. Ming-Chi Kuo has talked extensively about Apple's massive push for native Metal 3 gaming architecture, so I expected a smooth ride. And for the first 5 minutes, it ran surprisingly well at a locked 30 frames. But then the fanless design caught up. The wattage plummeted from its peak down to a measly 10 watts, and the frame rate absolutely tanked. The MacBook Pro can sustain 70 to 80 watts all day long. The Air simply panics, aggressively throttles itself to prevent melting, and leaves you with an unplayable mess. It is powerful for exactly 5 minutes, and then the anxiety sets in. So gaming is out. But what about real work? I loaded up a massive 72-gigabyte video project heavy on transitions. Just opening the timeline spiked the temperature to 98 degrees, almost boiling, and I hadn't even scrubbed the footage yet. Surprisingly, once the initial caching was done, the playback was incredibly smooth. It only spiked during heavy effects. The real test is the render. The Air was pulling about 15 watts, keeping things cool but painfully slow. It took 40 minutes to render the project. The M5 MacBook Pro, pulling 70 watts, finished it in 8 minutes. But here's the kicker that makes me feel completely stupid. I pulled my old M1 Pro out of retirement, ran the exact same test, and it finished in 10 minutes. I spent thousands of dollars to save 2 minutes of render time. The Air is highly capable in short bursts, but for sustained workloads, it just chokes. At the end of the day, my daily driver needs to handle everything without me worrying about it turning into a baking tray. The Air makes total financial sense for regular tasks, but for my incredibly stupid workflow of pushing heavy graphics and wanting booming bass while watching videos in bed, I will gladly pay the Apple tax. Give me back my fans, give me the SD card slot, and give me that sweet, sweet microwave of a laptop. Are you sticking with the Pro? Or is the Air the clear winner for your wallet?